Hi my lovelies, welcome back to RUZHOFF. That's the name of this channel, and for all the family members that have been on this journey with us, that have already subscribed, that always comment, share and like the videos, I thank you so much. I mean, I can't do it without you. And for the new members here, please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and most of all, don't forget to comment, because I really need your feedback so I can get to serve you the right content. So feel free to give me ideas and tips in the comment section. And well, like I promised, I'm starting a series of the informative videos tackling different topics. And today we're going to be talking about marrying a German. I'm not going to be specific whether man or woman, or marrying someone abroad. So the reason I'm tackling this topic is I get lots of DMs. And for those of you who are new here or before, but I forget, by the way, I'm a practicing social worker living in Germany with a practicing experience of, I think, over 10 years. I don't know, I don't count anymore. And of course, through my work, through my social media channels, especially Instagram, I get lots of information and DMs about such situations that I'm going to be talking about in this series. And the reason I decided to do a video about marrying a German or someone from abroad is because I've noticed there are many people who have moved in the diaspora, different countries, from different countries, for love, you know. And much as love is a beautiful thing, and I love love, but there are no guarantees. It comes with challenges too sometimes, unfortunately. And that's the reason I thought it's very important to address this topic, because I know when you're in love and you move to a new country, to your partner, everything is at first very rosy, very romanticized, very idolized, that you forget to look at the basics, realities, and maybe important factors. So speaking of this, my first point or advice would be, and I'm going to use more of people of African background, because those are the most people that I get to meet. Of course, it's widespread. I have people from Mexico, I have people from Colombia, I have people from Thailand, I have people from Russia, who have been in situations like that. People have moved for love, and I've put German as a specification because I live in Germany, but this applies to any other country, especially in Europe or anywhere in the world. So once you meet someone, let's say you're Ugandan or Kenyan, and you meet a German guy, Italian guy, French guy, fall in love, and you start to think of having a serious relationship with each other, I would advise you to do a background check. And with background check, I mean, first get the basic info about this person. Make sure he is exactly who he's telling you to be. Like, we start with names, and thank God we have Google and other search medias. You can search information about someone to first be sure of their identity, of if they're the person that they claim to be. Why is that important? We've had situations of girls moving for love, moving from wherever they are, Africa, Mexico, wherever, moving to foreign countries for love, only to discover that they've actually ended up with the wrong person, or this person had ulterior motives, like, just to sex traffic them or even just abuse them. So it's very, very important to do a background check. If your relationship has progressed and you've reached the state of, okay, I'm going to move over, I'm going to relocate to your country, and in this case, I'll use Germany. Before, and especially when you get to that country where your partner is staying, it could be a man, it could be a woman, make sure you get to learn the language. If in that country the language spoken is different from the language that you're speaking, especially if you come from an Anglo country and you end up like in German or Francophone country, make sure you learn the language. Learning the language is very empowering for you. you realize why it's important in my next video. It gives you lots of powers. It helps you integrate, because that's very, very key when you move to a new country. And not forgetting, get conversant with the system. Understand how the system operates. Understand the laws of that country. You know, and I'm talking about wide-based laws, the health system. Get to understand the immigration law in that country, because you never know when you're going to need that information. And as a foreigner, you know, someone who's relocated to a new country, you don't want to have situations in life where you'll get stuck and you have no idea how to go about it. So that's very, very important. Speaking of being conversant with the law and the entire system, I can't forget to mention your self-confidence, your esteem, how people perceive you, how your partner treats you. It's very important to be self-confident, to have your self-esteem up there, especially if you relocate to a new country, because it can be very challenging, you know, especially if you come like from a third world and you come to a first world like Germany. Life can be very challenging, life can be very intimidating. You're not always going to meet only nice people, you're always going to meet also other people that are not so kind, people that have their own prejudices, people that are probably racist. And you can always or only manage such situations if you're very self-confident, if your self-esteem is high, if you're principled, you know who you are. And that is also very important, of course, for your relationship, for your marriage, because if your partner perceives you as someone that he can just walk over, that can be very dangerous. And I've seen it to be a common factor in abusive relationships, especially with interracial marriages or partners. So it's very important to work on that. Even when you're not self-confident, you can still work on your self-confidence. Probably I'll do a video sometime about it. But that's very, very important. Another important factor is try as much as possible to remain financially independent. I know that's very difficult, because most of the time when you move to a new country, you have to give up your job in your country of origin. And of course, you need to integrate and first get to understand the system and navigate around, you know, before you even find a job. But put it on your to-do list and say, I want to remain financially independent. Well, I know some of you will say, oh, what if I marry someone very rich and I really don't have to work? Good for you. But make sure, even when you don't have to work, you have a spousal allowance, you know, that is off limits, that you call yours, that goes direct to your bank account, that you know you're somehow financially secure and independent. And I know it's not easy. Maybe some of us, you come over to another country and you're not educated, or your qualification doesn't get accepted. You can always go back to school and learn, or you can have your qualification from your country of origin verified according to the system of the country you've moved to. For example, Germany, we call that the Anerkennung system. There's a system whereby your qualifications get verified and then you can get to work in Germany. But if there's something that needs to be improved, then maybe you have to do one more year, or you have to go back to school. It's not always for a long time, or even change courses, you know, change your career direction. There's always a possibility. So I would advise you to do that, because there's really a lot of power in financial security. It gives you a bargaining margin. It keeps you also safe. I know there are no guarantees in life, but if things don't work out the way you plan them to, then at least you know you have a bargaining power. You have somewhere you can start from. So that's why it's very important. Another important thing that really helped me, for example, before I relocated to Germany, I did relocate to Germany for love. Voila. I made sure that I already had a driving license. I left my country of origin, that's Uganda, with an international driver's license. So somehow it gave me a sense of security and safety and independence, knowing that I could drive around myself, that I didn't have to depend on everyone all the time. So that's very important. You don't necessarily have to do it in your country of origin. I mean, if you don't have the chance, but as soon as you get to your destination, to the country where your lover or husband is, make sure to do a driver's license if you can afford it, or if it's an option for you. If it's not, I mean, not everyone is driving. People have different desires and different interests as regards means of transportation. If you're someone that is going to be using the public means of transport, make sure that you get conversant with the public transport means. You know, get conversant with the whole system, get to know how it works, get to know how to take a bus, get to know how to take a train. Saying that, I should laugh and maybe tell you a story about myself. When I got here, well, I was lucky that I could drive, and then I got to do my German driver's license also immediately. But it took me about 4 years to even get to learn about the public means of transport, because I never got to use it, you know. And then when I got divorced, I picked interest, you know, through friends, and people are talking about taking the bus, and I'm like, holy moly, I even don't know how they take the bus. I don't know even how exactly that works out. Or I remember my first train experience. It was very amazing, and I was thinking, geez, you've been in Germany for how many years and you've never used the train? Well, of course, on the other side, it seemed luxurious and very comfortable for me to have my own car, but it was also crippling, because if you move like to different city or a bigger city, sometimes it's more convenient and more practical to use like the public means of transport as regards driving, you know. So it never hurts, even when you have a car, to get conversant with the public means of transport. Key factor, what actually should have been top on my list, is before you even think of relocating for love, you know, leaving your country of origin to come and join your partner in whichever country they're living in. I actually don't think, but I'm convinced and I'm sure it's very, very important to talk about your expectations of marriage. If you're moving over because you're now married, or you want to get married, or your expectations of the relationship. What does a relationship mean to you? What does a marriage mean to you? What do you expect of your partner? And that way it helps you to, you know, to decide if this person is actually good for you. It helps you to decide if you're on the same page or not. And speaking of same page or not, it is through such conversations that you get to find out if there are any red flags, you know what I mean? If there are any discrepancies where you really have to reflect and ask yourself, is this the right person? Is this the right decision to make? Leaving Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Colombia, wherever, and moving to Germany or whichever country you're moving to for love, you know? So it's always very, very important to communicate, to have conversations around your relationship, your expectations, your principles, so you can be sure. I know much as there are no guarantees, but at least you can get to filter out a few factors that can help you make a decision. And not forgetting building a support network. I really, really have to emphasize this. When you move to a foreign country, and especially if you don't have family there. I mean, I moved to Germany and I didn't have anyone here. Up to now, I don't have anyone apart from, of course, my kids and the family of my ex-husband, but I have no like siblings here, aunties, uncles, no one. So it is very important to make friends, and I'm talking about good friends. I'm talking about getting a good support network, the kind of network that will help upbuild you, the kind of network, you know, people that you just talk to, hang out with, tell your thoughts, reflect life together. But most of all, this support network can be very, very, very vital if you're in a state of need or help. If you're in a state, for example, if your relationship gets abusive. Why do I say that? It's very, very common, unfortunately. Very unfortunate. So I always advise people, because I get, like I told you, so many DMs of people approach me, you know, everywhere. In the gym, I've had people approach me in the gym and they didn't know that I was a social worker, but probably because of my color, they felt comfortable talking to me because they felt we're both foreigners, so telling me their story and the dilemma and, asking me for help or knowledge. And it helped me realize how important it is to have a support network. So make sure you build a support network. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be age mates. It doesn't have to be people of the same sex. But make sure that you have people you can rely on, people that you can trust. And if you ever need help, if you're ever in a terrible situation, make sure that at least you have someone you can call at any time. Wow. So I'm trying to not get so deep into it because I'm also going to do another part. Like I promised you, this is going to be a series. So I hope at least I've tackled all the important key factors. Once again, for those of you who've been with me on this journey, you already know all my social media handles. On Instagram, it's RUZHOFF, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Only YouTube is called Life with RUZHOFF. So why is it important to know my social media handles and probably to follow me there? It gives you the opportunity to DM me directly if there's something you'd like to talk about, if you need assistance, if you need advice, because like I told you, I'm a practicing social worker living in Germany who has had experience working in Africa as a social worker and has been working in Germany as a social worker in different sectors. So if you're living in Germany, if you're African, if you're from any other foreign country and you're living in Germany and need advice as regards different topics, immigration, integration, understanding the system, understanding the whole bureaucracy stuff, my DM is always open for you, and so we can get to talk. And if you're someone who likes to keep your identity secret, definitely we do that. Or if you're someone who'd like to collaborate with me and share your story with our people here, so we can also get to learn and pick a lesson from each other's experiences, it's always very amazing. And I encourage you to do that if you feel comfortable about doing that. So I'm going to end this video here so I can do the rest of the series that I promised you. Please let me know in the comment section what you think. If there's anything I left out, or if you have questions as regards this topic, feel very free to let me know in the comment section. Share the videos with your family, friends, colleagues, like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Until next time, I love you. Mwah.